So that's the whole picture that we are seeing on the regular. That's yeah, and I don't know if that's comforting because I remember that we both felt so, oh, God, why me? But actually, this is really common. This is really common. Which doesn't diminish your experience by any stretch of the imagination because it's rubbish, and we understand. But our approach is to do what we call a whole health approach. I'm not a fan of the word holistic, and what we actually wanted to really convey was that we look at everything, so we leave no stone unturned. So we're looking at food intolerance elimination. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment. Macronutrient balance. So what you're eating, is it balancing your hormones? Are you eating how we're supposed to eat? Which doesn't mean eating perfectly, it means eating in a way that your body can respond to. Is there blood sugar stability? Is there stress management and reduction? And so sometimes that can just mean we might need to just supplement to get the body to stop being in this cortisol response. And sometimes we actually need to work with our coach to really figure out what am I choosing to keep in my life that is causing me stress, and what would I like to actually be able to walk away from, but maybe I don't know how to and I feel trapped. And so good coaches, this is, part of our job. All of that will balance our sex hormones, nutrient density, maximizing the digestion so we're not in that bowel hormone storm, organic food where possible, and sort of the education around where that is useful and where it might just be able to be an option. Vagus nerve support. So you might have heard about the vagus nerve. This is actually one of the nerves in our body that can keep us in a parasympathetic nervous system dominant place. But actually, again, in our sessions, we will look at vagus nerve support where needed, structural balancing where needed. So again, your coach might go through with you about things like the ileocecal valve. They might be sort of talking to you about jaw work if that feels like it's relevant, because we are bringing not only the nutritional aspects to it, but we're also bringing the kinesiology aspects where there is some body work, but this is body work that we are teaching you to do for yourself. Immune support where needed, education on health options. This is really, really important because a lot of our clients don't understand the difference, let's just say, particularly between HRTs. We are not doctors, we cannot prescribe. We do have in-house nurses who can prescribe, but that's not our job as coaches. Our job is to actually tell you what the path, what the options are, so that you can have a think about what option it is you want to talk to the nurse about, and that maybe you didn't know there were different options. That's actually the bit that I think astonishes me, is how late in life I learned what the options were and how mystical it all felt. And actually, one of the things that I get feedback on the most from clients is, oh my goodness, I didn't know that there were options. And I now feel empowered to go and ask my GP or speak to your nurse too, because I know what it is that I want. Having these conversations around exercise, or go back, because again, finding out what we're doing that is supportive or not supportive, getting in nature, sleep management, supplements, emotional resilience work. Again, that can come into sessions, learning boundaries, avoiding xenoestrogens, which are these toxic chemicals that put estrogen mimicking compounds into our body, and self-love practices. So this is actually what we do in the clinic. And so we focus very much on this reducing the stressors, as we talked about with the exercise. How can that, putting some of that in that's right for you and right for where your hormones are at, because that's not necessarily, in fact, very few cases with hormone imbalances is it a hit class. It could just be, okay, can you focus in on getting a bit of walking in or a bit of yoga in or something? Lifestyle pressure and emotional issues, toxic chemicals. Like, these are the reducing, this is what we're going to be focusing on to support you.